Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, we'll be taking a look at the Peak deck by Raymond. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. As always, just a quick shout out to all my subscribers out there. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. Your support really means a lot to me and it really helps me to keep this channel going. And of course, if you're not yet a subscriber, if you like the content that you see, if you've gotten value out of my videos, alright, you enjoy watching my videos, please subscribe to my channel, alright, like this video as well, hit the bell notification button as well so that you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video on YouTube. Subscribing to the channel really helps a lot, because just knowing that there are people out there who are watching my videos and who want to watch the next video, that really motivates me to continue doing these videos, alright, so subscribe right now. Alright, so let's get down to today's review proper. So just a couple of weeks back, Eddie actually contacted me over on Facebook. Alright, he dropped me a message and asked if I would be interested to have a look at this self-published, self-released product of his called the Peak deck. Now, when I say self-released and self-published, I really mean it in every sense of the word, alright? Because Eddie actually hand makes every single unit of the Peak deck, okay? Because this is actually a handmade prop, okay? A precision-made gimmick. So he hand makes everything, he puts the whole package together himself. It doesn't have, some fancy packaging, like some hard shell box with a metal clasp on the front or something like that. It's literally just, a clear Ziploc bag with some sheets of instructions inside. And then he also sells the Peak deck directly from his website, alright? He hasn't gone to any, of our favorite magic dealer websites, okay? It's literally just from his website alone. And of course, that also means that there isn't like some fancy trailer, alright, featuring some testimonials or some famous magician. It's the kind of trailer that, you and I will be familiar with. It shows a lot of things, but it doesn't really tell you anything at all about the product. For example, alright, so seeing as how there's no trailer for the product, and there's no video demo as well, that's where people like me come in, alright? I'll be giving you a quick mock performance of the Peak deck so that you know what it does, and also, I think more importantly for all buyers out there, what it looks like in performance and the conditions that it offers you when it gives you your Peak. Alright, so here's what the Peak deck looks like in performance. You remove this clear plastic case, okay? You open up the case, you dump out the card box. This can be set aside for the time being. You remove the cards and you tell the spectator that you will now be conducting an experiment in mind reading perhaps. So what's going to happen is this: you hand them just one card, okay, just one card, and you tell them that you want them to think of anything. It can be, I don't know, a number, a 4-digit number, let's say, okay? So on the back of the card, you have them write down a 4-digit number. So let's say they write down something like this. And then you invite them to insert their card, okay, with the writing into the center of the deck. And again, bear in mind, okay, that your head is turned away like that completely. They now push the cards in themselves, okay? They are cut in themselves. It seemed to go in very fairly. You close up the card case, then you turn around, you pick up this case over here, this whole box goes in, and now in the action of placing the case aside into your jacket pocket, you have gotten your information that you need. And you can now, of course, proceed directly into your reveal. So let me quickly reset everything and then we will chat a little bit more about the Peak deck. So what do you get when you purchase the Peak deck? All right, now as I mentioned earlier, everything is self-produced by Eddie, and so everything just comes in a very simple packaging. It comes literally like that, okay, just in a clear Ziploc bag like that. Inside, obviously, you will get the plastic case, okay, as I showed you earlier, you get that. We'll talk about the contents of this in a while. You will also get some sheets of instructions, okay, 2 sheets actually, that outlines the basic handling of the Peak deck itself, okay, some presentational ideas. So physically, all right, the physical props that you'll receive this, the Peak deck inside this hard shell translucent case. It also comes with a card case, which of course is gimmicked, all right, it's a gaffed card case. And of course it comes with the deck itself, okay, again, heavily gimmicked deck. So you get all this stuff, okay, including the instructions. You get all this for just $28. All right, $28. I mean, I don't know, but in this day and age, I feel that sounds a little bit low for what you get, especially, all right, because I think Eddie could have knocked it up just a couple more dollars, you know, to make it more worth his while. Because, you know, these 2 items here, okay, not the plastic case, obviously, just the card case and the deck of cards itself, they are heavily gimmicked, okay, and Eddie really painstakingly makes everything himself, okay? Every unit is handmade, everything is put together by himself. So $28 for the amount of time it takes to make a set, you know, coupled along with the raw materials of the deck of cards and the card case and printing, I don't know, he could have knocked it up a couple more dollars, I'm just saying. And you know, yes, while it may sound like I'm not being objective here because this is a review copy that I received, but hand on my heart, okay, hand on my heart, if I were to have paid $28 for this, I would have been really happy. In fact, all right, because this can be made by yourself, technically, you could put this together yourself. It's a very time-consuming process, but you could. So even if I were to have bought this Peak deck, right, as a PDF, okay, a PDF with no props whatsoever for, I don't know, $20, I probably would have felt that I've gotten my money's worth, all right? Just the knowledge alone that I would have gotten from reading this particular concept, I think would have made it worth my while already. Okay, so just topping up another $8 and I would get everything, all the physical props, all ready made, ready to go. I think it's a steal. So when I first got it, and when I first opened it up and when I first saw how it worked, it immediately reminded me of another product that I had many years ago that was released in the early 2000s, 2004 maybe, by Mark Spellman, called Glimpse. Okay, so if you're familiar with Glimpse, you kind of already have part of the method for this, okay? Not exactly, all right? It's similar, but not exactly, but it certainly reminded me of that. So basically, this is it's a Peak device, all right? So as the name suggests, the Peak deck, okay? So it's a Peak device. However, I really like one moment in the usage of this, okay? And I'll just do it up again to that point. We're up to the point where the spectator has already written their information on the card. When you offer them the deck like that, first of all, I think this looks extremely innocent, all right? Because the cards are now inside the card case. So, you know, they are not in your control, all right? You're not even touching the deck at this point in time, technically. Then they themselves insert their card into the middle like that, okay? So at this point in time, everything looks really, really fair. I mean, your head can be turned away, you know, the entire time like that, and it looks completely disarming, okay? It really looks as though you have got no control over this card and there's no way you can get to it. So this moment actually reminds me of The Extractor, okay, from Alakazam, Peter Nardi, Rob Bromley, that was put out in sometime in 2008, thereabouts, I think. And you know, right, if you use The Extractor, you know how innocent and disarming this moment is. I mean, you don't even touch this card, okay? You don't even touch the card that they've written on. They insert the card into the middle like that. They see it go into the middle. You close the card case like that, and to me, all right, the moment, you know, you close the card case like that and set the box aside, I believe that the minds of the spectators just kind of shut down, okay? They don't think anymore because it really doesn't seem as though you can get to that card at all. Then at this point in time, I mean, you could get your Peak directly from here, from this moment, or as taught in the instructions, Eddie suggests using this to place the box inside, and then from here, as you place the box away, you can get the info then. So there are a couple of things that I find a bit iffy about it. Okay, so number one, you have to of course carry an extra deck of cards just to use this method. Depending on your current skill set, okay, you may or may not wish to carry another deck of cards, okay, just to perform a peek. I mean, just speaking from my own way of like doing things, okay, to get a peek, I would just use, I don't know, I've got billets in play most of the time, so those would probably be what I would use already to get this kind of information, right? A 4-digit number, a short word, or a picture, or something like that. So that's the first issue, all right, pocket space. The next issue is for those of you pure mental people out there who are not willing to use playing cards in your performance, all right, because you don't wish to be seen associated with magic tricks and stuff like that. I don't have an issue with that, all right. I also perform with playing cards, but I know that there are some of you who are not willing to use playing cards. If that's the case, if that is you, then this is completely out the window for you already. So last but not least, the third issue I see with this is that for this particular method, once the card goes in, that's it, all right? There's no way you can get their card back out in a convincing way. I think out in the open like that, I don't think there's a way you can do that. So if you're concerned about retrieving the card, then this may not be for you as well, all right? You cannot get the card back from within the box easily and give it to them. That would actually form part of the reset. Okay, so the reset is very easy, very simple. Okay, you literally just have to retrieve, go somewhere and retrieve that card. It's just that you cannot do it out in the open like that. Also, I should mention that because of the nature of the gaff itself, of the gimmick, nothing can be inspected. Okay, nothing can be inspected. The box, the cards themselves, you cannot let them handle anything. They cannot touch anything at all. So I think the right way, all right, or the sound psychological magic thinking way of doing it would be to have another deck of cards in play and perform a whole bunch of routines with a regular deck first. Okay, so they can handle the deck, they can shuffle the cards, they can even handle the card case perhaps, and then get rid of the cards, perform something else, I don't know, a coin routine or something like that, and then as an afterthought, switch in this deck, bring this one out, and then you can go into your whole peak sequence to end the group. So next, just a bit of handling suggestion. Okay, I've just described the handling as per what Eddie has described in his instructions. Okay, that is writing on the back of the card. Now, you do need to use quite a thick marker, I think, because if you were to use just a regular thin kind of a Sharpie, let me just write this over here for you so you can see. So you know that the back of the bicycle design, all right, is quite busy. So if you're not using quite a thin Sharpie, it might not be totally clear for you, all right. It's not very clear if you were to just use like a thin, fine-tipped Sharpie. So try to use a thicker one. I think that would aid you during the moment when you do the work. Another suggestion that I have is to simply just use, because you are handing them the card for them to write on, okay, just use something with a lot of space on it, okay, a lot of white space, 2s, 4s and 6s. If possible, just get a one-way deck, all right, of 4s, 6s and 2s. Then in this case, you ask them to write on the face, okay, instead. So they write on the face in this case, okay, and they can put their card face down. Now, the cards will be face up, okay, but I don't think that's a problem for them to insert the card in face down. So in this case, if they write on the face of the card and they insert it face down like that, okay, the card goes in just like that. From here, you have a very clear unobstructed peak, okay? Unobstructed meaning you don't have the busy back design of the card to kind of confuse things when you are getting the information that you need. So in the interests of completeness, all right, as described by Eddie in his instructions, you can also perform a rising card effect with this. I will show it to you, okay? So you could have the card box this way, and then the card can be made to rise from the center of the cards, just like that, okay? And then you can remove it and give it off as a souvenir. Now, here's the thing. Please do not perform the rising card immediately after you have used it to get a peak. Okay, so if you're using the peak deck for a peak, routine, something where you get information, do not make their card with the writing rise up and then give it back to them, okay? I think that is just bad thinking, okay? As Eddie suggests, okay, this could probably be a way to end an ambitious card routine. So you could have a deck of cards already in play, you perform your ambitious card routine, you keep that deck, okay? Their signed card is still with them. You then bring out the peak deck and then tell them, you know what, let's try one last phase for you, okay? You now have them insert their card, all right, their signed card into the middle, like that. And then from there, then you can go into the rising sequence, okay? So apparently it's like one last phase in a kind of ambitious card routine. Remove it, hand it to them, keep this, and then off you go, all right? Because again, this cannot be inspected, so don't leave this out in the open for too long. But you know, all in, all right, I think this is a really clever device, right? And again, I love the moment where, you know, when you turn your head away, they insert the card in themselves, it is seen to go into the middle, and you close the box. Completely disarming, right? So I love that moment in this method. The props are really well made, okay, precision made. Again, everything is handmade by Eddie himself. And you know, as someone who also does a lot of DIY stuff, because I make a lot of the props that I use as well in my show, so I do know how time consuming and how much effort goes into putting together something like this. If this is something that you would like, okay, something that you can see yourself using, please do support Eddie and head over to his website and get yourself one of these. All right, I will leave the link in the description box down below. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, as always, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll see you again on a future episode of Nique Tan Chats.